Alright guys, what's up? New deck profile. We have Blue Eyes. This is a Blue Eyes control deck. It's actually quite an interesting deck. So the new cards actually play around trap cards and protecting your field and protecting your back row. So I decided to give a trap build a try, and it's actually fairly good. If I was going to take any one of them to a region, I would probably take this one or the combo build that I'm going to upload on the channel sometime soon. This is very different from a typical one, but right off the bat we play 2 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon. I have not played less than 3 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon in my life. This is the first time I've ever done it, but I have been testing this extensively, and it actually is better at 2. You actually don't need the 3rd Blue Eyes because you can shuffle it back with the fusion spell. You do not have to play 3 copies. Like I said, first time ever. You can shuffle them back and it's fine. Only in the control build. In the combo build you still play 3, and if you play in the OTK deck, the OTK build, you definitely play 3. Next, we play 2 copies of Blue Eyes Alternative. This one you bump up to 2 in this particular build. So you play 2 of this and 2 of that, and you can basically recycle these any way you need them. You have plenty of Blue Eyes names. You can make Alternative Ultimate Dragon. You can make Tyrant Dragon if you need to, but definitely 2 of that. This is a new card. We play Blue Eyes Jet Dragon. He's actually really good. So basically he has a continuous effect where your cards cannot be destroyed by card effects. This includes your back row and your front row. The only card that can be destroyed by card effects is this card. On top of that, the other effects that he has are if a card is destroyed and you have a Blue Eyes White Dragon in your graveyard or on your field, you can special summon him once per turn during either player's turn. So that effect is just crazy. He's basically an endless resource. You can even you could summon like Alternative, activate, pop, special summon this guy from the graveyard. He could special summon from the hand or graveyard. Really, really good. Then he has another effect where if he battles, you can bounce your opponent's monster. But you can bounce a card. When this card battles, you can bounce a card on your opponent's side of the field. So it's actually really good because you can clear a board very, very easily with this card. But definitely, he is an extremely, extremely good card. I've thought about bumping him up to 2. I've gone between 2 and 3, but honestly, you could just use Stone of Ancients to summon him, so you don't really have to. You just basically need 1 in rotation. That's usually good enough. Play 3 copies of Dictator of D. This is a new card. He's another extremely good card. He has an effect where his summoning condition is super crazy. You can send a Blue Eyes from your deck to the graveyard for cost to special summon this card. Then he has another effect where you can discard a Blue Eyes card from your hand to special summon a Blue Eyes out of the graveyard. And it doesn't have to be a Blue Eyes White Dragon that's summoning out of the graveyard. It can be any Blue Eyes monster. On top of that, it has another effect where if you control a Blue Eyes, you can redirect your opponent's attacks at wherever you want to. But that effect doesn't really come up as often. Then we play 3 copies of Stone of Ancients. This card is very good in the control build because, again, you just normal summon this, make a Linkuriboh, set 5 trap cards, and you're good to go. You just sit on a Blue Eyes White Dragon and True Light and Solemn Strike and Skill Drain and all that various stuff. And now it Skill Drains at 3, it's even crazier. We play 1 copy of White Stone of Legend. This you just play at 1, but it just basically gets you a copy of Blue Eyes White Dragon in your hand when you need it. Then we play 3 copies of Sage with Eyes of Blue. This is another one. It's a +1 on summon, and with control decks and trap decks, you want to get as many easy non-committal +1s as you can. So this card's good. You can normal summon it, Search Like Effect Veiler, and then you have an extra interruption on top of your trap cards. Then we've got the Effect Veiler that we're searching. So that is all of the monsters that we're playing in this particular build. For the spell cards, we're playing 1 copy of Ultimate Fusion. This card you don't have to play that many of because you can actually just set it into your back row with True Light. Usually you're not going to lose on turn 1 because you have so many interruptions from your trap cards, so you can just set it with True Light and activate it the next turn. Then we play a little bit of a weird ratio, 2 copies of Trade-In and 2 copies of Melody. These are, again, just the ratios that worked for me. I've been testing it, and when you're not playing that many level 8s, so you just don't want to see too many trade-ins as often. But trade-in is still very good. But again, if you're playing like the OTK build, you want to max these out. And then we play 1 copy of Return, the Dragon Lords, and 1 copy of Monster Reborn. Just because sometimes you don't want to play too many. It gets somewhat cloggy, and then the consistency's out the window. And then we play 1 copy of Bingo Machine Go. I know I'm only playing this at 1, and it seems weird. The reason I actually don't even like this card, but the reason that you play this card at 1 is because you can sometimes you open a hand with a lot of trap cards, but you can use the effect of True Light to set Bingo Machine Go into your back row, and then the following turn you can reveal three blue eyes, white dragons, and like two blue eyes, white dragons, and one alternative, and most of the time you'll end up getting the blue eyes, white dragon. And then you can summon off a True Light and start going off just like that. But definitely that's why I play it at 1, because you could just set off a True Light and then just resolve it whenever you want to. That is the last spell card. Now for the trap cards. You play a ton of trap cards. Play 3 copies of True Light. This is like the MVP of the deck. It does so much. All of your Blue Eyes White Dragons can't be targeted. What's cool about this card is with Dark Magician, when their Eternal Soul gets destroyed, their field blows up and it's kind of horrific. But the great thing with Blue Eyes is that you have a lot of destruction protection. So for example, you have in Blue Eyes, you have, where is he? Jet. While Jet's on the field, other cards you control cannot be destroyed, so your opponent can't destroy your True Light. Also, you have cards like even if your opponent did manage to like banish True Light or bounce it or something and it left the field and it activated to destroy all your cards, if Jet's on the field, it protects some of your monsters. And then you also have stuff like Azure Eyes. Azure Eyes also protects all of your dragon monsters. So if you summoned Azure Eyes and True Light's on the field, your monsters would be protected anyway, even if your opponent got rid of the True Light. So that's kind of a cool part about Blue Eyes. On top of that, it has an effect where you can special summon once per turn a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your graveyard or from your hand. And again, something that's cool about Blue Eyes over the Dark Magician is that you can summon regular Blue Eyes, or you could special summon a Blue Eyes alternative from the graveyard that's already been properly summoned, because it counts as Blue Eyes White Dragon in the graveyard. So that's also a very cool thing. And then of course you can bring it back, pop cards, summon Jet Dragon, make a rank 8. Like, there's so much you can do. This deck can go from slow to fast in like 60 seconds. It's crazy. And then the second effect is also better than Dark Magician, which is you can set a spell or trap card that specifically lists Blue Eyes White Dragon in its text into your back row, and it doesn't have to be like specifically it doesn't have to be any specific card. You can set any Blue Eye spell or trap card. So you can set one Bingo Machine Go, and you can actually play one of stuff instead of having to play 3 of everything. Definitely a staple at 3. Then we play 1 copy of Ultimate Creature Destruction. Again, this is pretty searchable off of True Light, so you don't need to max it out too much. But it's pretty good with Dictator of D, because you can discard it to special summon a Blue Eyes from your graveyard, and when Blue Eyes is summoned, you get to set this back. So it's it's like a pure +1. So that's that. Then we play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence, because it is not only one of the best hand traps in the game. In this particular deck, it's totally recurable. I forgot to mention, all of the trap cards in this deck are completely recurable with the new fusion monster, Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon. Because if he battles or he does battle damage, you can target a trap and add this back. Yeah, if he battles, you can add back any trap and set any trap back to your field. Play 3 copies of Ice Dragon's Prison. This is one of the best normal trap cards in the game. It completely outs both Phoenix Enforcer and Dragoon. If your opponent has Dragoon, you just bait their first negate, and then their second negate, you activate Ice Dragon's Prison, target Dark Magician in the graveyard, and then banish the Dragoon and the Dark Magician. If you're playing against Phoenix Enforcer, you can just, when your opponent activates Phoenix Enforcer, you just chain this, you target their copy of Dasher in the graveyard, and then you summon their Dasher, banish the Phoenix Enforcer, and they have to resolve their Phoenix Enforcer, so they end up popping one of their own cards. And Phoenix Enforcer is gone forever, and Celestial can't activate out of the graveyard. Very, very good against them, and it's just generally good against a lot of decks. It's non-targeting banish, basically banishes 2 cards. It's very good. And we play 3 copies of Torrential. Play whatever artworks you want to, but Torrential at 3 is very good because, again, like, our board doesn't really matter most of the time. You can wipe your own board, wipe your opponent's board. It doesn't really have an impact. It doesn't really have an impact whatsoever, regardless, because you can just get your board back anytime. You have True Lights. All of your cards float. It doesn't even matter. Yeah, but that card's definitely very, very, very good. Also, our boss monster, Tyrant Dragon, is unaffected by trap cards. So if he's on the field and you Torrential, we don't even lose our monster anyway. It doesn't even matter. Next we play, and if we have like Azure Eyes, we're protected. It's awesome. The Torrential Tribute's great in this deck. We play 3 copies of Strike. Very good. Very good going second. Strike plus Torrential basically outs every single board essentially in the game, unless they have unless they have Dragoon, it basically outs every board, but fortunately people aren't even playing Dragoon. And then we play 3 copies of Skill Drain. Skill Drain is now at 3. You need to max out on Skill Drain. This is probably one of the most beneficial things in the deck, is that Skill Drain went to 3. Yeah, this is one of those decks that can really, really utilize Skill Drain, because Skill Drain, even if you Skill Drain, every one of your monsters is essentially 3,000 attack. You drop a Blue Eyes, alternative, like none of this matters. Jet, they're all 3,000 attack. So even if Skill Drain's on the field, you can still put 9,000 damage on board in the snap of a finger. And even if you can't put 9,000 damage on board, your opponent's not going to be able to summon huge monsters under Skill Drain, so you are more than good to go. So Skill Drain is definitely one of the biggest boosts to the deck, even better than the new support. Now for the extra deck, we play 1 copy of Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon. This is the all-new card. It has multiple effects. It's unaffected by trap cards, both your opponent's and your own. That is obviously very, very good. It's unaffected by Skill Drain if it's on the field first. It's unaffected by Torrential Tribute. This card can attack all monsters your opponent controls. So this card is really good to summon and then activate Skill Drain, and then you can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. And if this card battles, you can set back a trap from your graveyard, which that effect is just crazy. Yeah, the fact that you can do it in all of its effects, there's not a single hard once per turn on this card. It's all soft once per turn. So if you have 2 Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragons, you set 2 traps. It's crazy to me that you can literally set any trap in the game back to your set of field. You can set Torrential, Skill Drain, Solemn Strike, Impermanence, Ice Dragon's Prison, True Light. Literally every single card we play you can set back if you want to. It's actually really good, and that's why I kind of built a more of a trap build with Tyrant Dragon. He's a very, very good card. His summoning conditions are super easy. All you need to summon him is you just use Ultimate Fusion, and he's 1 Blue Eyes and 1 Dragon monster. That is it. That's all you need for him. Next we play 1 copy of Blue Eyes Alternative Ultimate Dragon. Basically what this card does is it's like a Dragoon for this archetype. It can't be destroyed, it can't be targeted. You can destroy 1 card, and then this card can't attack. But if you use Blue Eyes Alternative as fusion material, you can destroy up to 3 cards. So definitely pretty cool there. Play 1 copy of Baron de Fleur. This I'm going to actually show a little combo at the end. I'm going to show you how you can summon this very easily. 1 copy of Spirit, 1 copy of Silver, 1 copy of Formula Synchron, and 1 copy of Moonlit Dragon. Those are the synchros. Then for the XYZs, we play 1 Dragbludian, 1 Numeron Dragon, and 1 copy of Hope Harbinger, because they're just some of the better XYZs that you can play. This one basically gives you 9,000 damage at any given time, and this one can just give you a spell negate if you want to. So we play that. Then for our links, very important, 1 copy of Link Haribo, 1 copy of Relinquish Anima for some variety going second, so you can like link away, take an opponent's monster. 1 copy of Crystron Hecklet Vibrax, because it helps with our combo. 1 Heretic Seal of Heavenly Sphere. I don't play the Goliath, but you definitely can play the Goliath if you want to. I just think it's an unnecessary brick, so I just play the Heretic Seal. And then 1 copy of Predaplant Verde Anaconda, so we can actually send our Ultimate Fusion, since thankfully it did not get hit on the ban list. The Verde Anaconda, I mean. Now, let me show you this quick combo. The combo is super easy. There's a lot of different combos that you can do even in the trap build. The combo deck obviously has a lot more combos, but the trap build has some combos. So for the trap build, you need Sage and Dictator. And this combo is super easy. There's a lot of variations on it, but this is what I typically do. You normal summon Sage, activate the effect of Sage to search. You are going to search out a copy of... You're going to search out a copy of Whitestone of Ancients. Now we're going to activate the effect of Dictator of D to special summon itself by sending a Blue Eyes White Dragon from the deck to the graveyard as cost. So we're going to send the Blue Eyes to the graveyard. Next, we're going to activate the Dictator of D to special summon Blue Eyes by discarding a card that has Blue Eyes in its name. So we're going to discard the Whitestone of Ancients to summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon. Next, we are going to use the Dictator of D and Sage in order to special summon. a copy of Crystron Hecklefibrax and activate the effect of Crystron Hecklefibrax to special summon from our deck, and we are going to special summon a copy of White Stone of Ancients again. Now we're going to use the White Stone of Ancients, synchro these two away, the Blue Eyes and the White Stone of Ancients, in order to special summon Blue Eye Spirit Dragon. So Spirit Dragon, Crystron are right there, and this combo is not over. We are going to end phase, activate the effect of both of our Stone of Ancients in the graveyard to special summon 2 Blue Eyes monsters from our deck. We are going to special summon our Blue Eyes, and we're going to special summon our Jet. Jet will give us blanket protection from destruction. And generally, you want to summon him in defense just in case your opponent has Lightning Storm, because you will be doing other stuff during this turn. We pass turn here, but our game is not over. We pass turn, but we're not done here. When our opponent's turn starts, we can tribute or banish the Crystron Hecklefibrax in order to summon a tuner from our deck, or from a synchro tuner from our extra deck, which would be a copy of Formula Synchron. Now we're going to activate the effect of Formula Synchron. When it's summoned, we get to draw a card, so we're going to draw a random card. We're going to go random +1, and then he has an effect where during our opponent's turn we can synchro summon. So you can either use Jet or Blue Eyes White Dragon. Remember that Jet has gives you blanket protection, but if a card on your side of the field is destroyed, or a card on the field is destroyed, you get to special summon him back. So you might want to get rid of him so you can summon him back, or you can just get rid of the Blue Eyes and the Formula Synchron. So we're going to synchro summon with those two in order to summon a Baron de Fleur. And we're not going to summon any extra monsters. So basically, we're going to summon that. Baron de Fleur is also a very good card. He's an additional negate. We have, basically what we ended on is a +1 blanket protection for our board. Remember, we're playing a ton of trap cards in our deck. So theoretically, we'd have a lot of trap cards in our back row that are all protected by Jet Dragon. We have the Blue Eye Spirit Dragon, which negates graveyard effects, and it can be tagged out into either a copy of Moonlit to bounce or an Azure Eyes to protect our board. Either one. And also Azure Eyes is good because we have a lot of Blue Eyes in our graveyard that we can just now summon. We have a lot of normal Blue Eyes in our graveyard we can summon for free. But either one can be good, but tagging out, we have Monster Negate. Basically, we have a Graveyard Negate and the tag out. On top of that, we have the Baron de Fleur, which is the Baron de Fleur is actually a graveyard. No, the Baron de Fleur is actually a negate, but only once on the board. But Baron de Fleur actually has another cool effect, where let's say our opponent passes, they can't break our board. We use one of Baron de Fleur's negates. We use the Baron de Fleur negate. It doesn't have any more negates. It passes back to our turn. Standby phase, we activate Baron de Fleur. We can put it back in the extra deck in order to summon the Formula Synchron. We're going to use the Formula Synchron and the Jet Dragon to summon back the Baron de Fleur. Baron de Fleur now has a negate all over again because it only has a negate once while on the field, but if you resummon it, it gets its negate back. And then we can activate Baron de Fleur, pop an opponent's card, and special summon the Jet because a card on the field was popped. So really, really cool synergies within this deck. That is the combo for this one. Again, if you want to see the combo build, let me know, and I will post the combo build. But nevertheless, thank you for watching, and have a great day.